Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So now we're in part three. By now, you should know what part two has to do with the gay agenda and why the elite are behaving like LGBT people. So, first, let's make a distinction here. A man is going to stand for what's right. The ideal man is a monotheistic martial artist who's standing for what is precisely right. And my top martial arts challenge proves this because I've gone beyond the other martial artists. And in order to be the ideal, the exact ideal type, you have to be the top martial artist. And what moral path, if you don't know already, is superior is revealed by who's the top martial artist. And it couldn't possibly be Bruce Lee because he wasn't that moral, right? And I'd beat him in no time in sparring and single combat and so on and so forth. And it's not Michael J. White or Wesley Snipes or John Jones either. It is me. I've gone way beyond him with my 13-year and counting top martial arts challenge, spar it, spirit, mind, body, soul, spirit. Excuse me, mind, body, soul, and spirit. The sword of scripture, the sword of the spirit, and so on and so forth. When you connect these things, it'll be very easy. I shouldn't have to explain it beyond that. Okay. So once you have that ideal, that is the ideal, that is manning up. You know, if it's a man, right? It's manning up. And obviously I'm a man. Now, what is contrary to that? Contrary to that is a little baby crying about how they want their way because of their emotions. I became the top martial artist ever possible by focusing on what is precisely right, not by embracing mere emotions. They try to throw me off by covertly drugging me and trying to manipulate my emotions, trying to pretend that I have something which I don't, which is a mood disorder, and trying to, take me to the psych ward, trying to do this, that, and the other thing as a result to interfere, because emotions, one way or another, get in the way. However, at the same time, if the emotion is like moral outrage, right? If it's based in true logic, if it's based in wisdom, right? If it's based in divine intensity, then it can help you, right? It can help me strike. That's part of how I struck at world record speed. So on the one hand, emotions, generally speaking, we will say, get in the way. But when you focus moral intensity and with wisdom and insight and sense, okay, then it can cause you to do great things, to traverse the spiritual realm, as they say, to strike, to gather the Spirit of God in my fist and to strike with the Spirit of God and to really move heaven and earth, as they say, and so on and so forth. So when we see the contrast, we see these social clubs, which are basically gender neutral social clubs. Bear with me. There's a difference between a man going out and doing God's work and a bunch of bickering old females, plotting behind the scenes, manipulating things like a witch. Okay, and they say the male counterpart of a witch is like a sorcerer or a wizard. Now, wizards are like effeminate old guys. Quite often they have titties hanging or something. Okay, I'm not trying to insult old people. I'm trying to help you understand the difference. They're not the pinnacle of masculine expression. They are something else. And when something else tries to pretend that they are ideal, which is the space reserved for the top martial arts ever possible, which is me, and that is what is known on the streets, for example, as a bitch move, And how could a group of people that every generation convey bitch moves be ideal? They can't. So they're on some bitch ass shit. And they're not thinking straight. They're on some gender neutral bitch shit because they're behaving, like it says in the Bible, folly is an unruly woman, folly is in the heart of a child. They're behaving like an emotional, toxic, psychotic, demon, bitch ass little kid instead of being a man. And this is part of why homosexuality is something that doesn't allow for idealness. Because they themselves, in the word moral, in the word normal, we have the word moral. And they themselves define themselves more often than not as queer, which is odd, which is not normal. Now, everyone doesn't have to be the same, mind you. We have to make that distinction here. So because they're not normal, they don't think straight, they're not moral. And because people in social clubs try to make everyone seem gayish while they try to seem more like a normal person, they're really, really not thinking straight. And they're driving everyone crazy more and more. So therefore we can ascertain that it is immoral to try to convince people that it is okay to be gay. Now bear with me. It is also immoral to try to convince people that it's okay to be a player, or it's okay to, magically okay to be greedy, or that it's magically okay to be a damn metalhead. So if somebody's trying to convince you that it is okay, they're not thinking straight. And there's a good chance they're working for a bunch of quote unquote straight people who want everyone to seem inferior to them, using the obvious idea that when people are gay, they have less appeal and they have a less of an they don't have as good of an understanding of life.